as far as changing their positions, is that what you're asking, or more of movement? Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you want big people, right? But yeah, the athleticism gives us some things where we can get on the edge. I mean, you just see with defenses nowadays, last several years, a lot of people try and cut up the box and junk it up a little bit. So if you can get some people that do have mobility or versatile, it's certainly going to give us some advantages in the run game. We've got some athletic guys up there. I mean, we have some big human beings in that room, and Coach Austin's done a good job with them up to this point. But, there's some versatility up front that I see already. Uh, it's been different the last couple of years with each team. Each team's been kind of different, but I'd say we've probably been a little bit heavier zone just altogether than the gap scheme stuff. But last year at TCU, we were probably a little bit better gap team with those guys. So just again, kind of depends on what we're good at and what we feel like we have. But I would say we've been a little heavier zone just the last couple of years. And Clemson's had a great run, had a great statistical run last year with inside zone, so it's something that I know we have a lot of confidence here, and we've done it well for a long time here.
State of Texas traditionally hasn't been a huge recruiting footprint for Clemson. They've gotten a couple guys last few years. What has it been like for you, having recruited the state for several other schools, to now go in on Clemson's behalf?
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool to wear that pall. There's no doubt, but yeah, it's those a lot of people in Texas, I think, have a great respect for this brand and what Clemson's done, certainly the last decade, and so I think there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of respect out there in that state for Clemson. So yeah, it's been pretty good outreach, since I got here, from a lot of Texas high school coaches and people I have relationships with, with football. So, I know they're excited for us and for me and for all these Texas guys on our roster, but we've done well recruiting there last several years and bringing some guys in from Texas, and so I think it's only going to help us kind of have a strong footprint there as we move forward.
I guess last year TCU had Max Duggan was a quarterback who could run the ball, run with some power. Cade's a guy who's got some speed. How do you assess Cade as a runner, and what are his strengths, and how can you utilize those?
Yeah, he's athletic. I mean, Cade's kind of, I don't want to say sneaky fast, but I mean, he's a very versatile, athlete. I mean, you go back, watch high school tape, he was running around pretty good there at Westlake. So, I mean, he brings athleticism. He's a guy you can certainly run. You got to be smart with him. He's not the biggest guy in the world, so, you have to be mindful of that, but he's definitely going to give you an element in the run game for sure. I think more than anything, it's just let's get good at a few things, and let's grow from there. But let's just kind of dumb it back down, kind of start fresh in terms of, like I said, just getting really, really good at, at a few things, gain an identity early here in spring football. Let's come away with an identity offensively, and then, like I said, that will grow. And just don't get bored with routine. Don't get bored with doing things over and over and over again. That's something that, our guys have to buy into, and I think we have so far. Now we're early in spring football. It's easy to do it early. So we'll see how we progress or if we can sustain that all the way through.
So how do you try to make sure that it doesn't become monotonous? Is there a way to make it not that way, or they just have to have the mental?
Yeah, I think mentally it's them seeing, obviously you want to see some results that come along with that, right? And can kind of validate why you do some things. And I think we're seeing that early on here in 3 practices. But, and then the other thing it does too, it allows you, when you do so few things and you just do it over and over again, well, now all of a sudden you can move players around and they know what to do. You can take that receiver we talked about earlier, that receiver that's always on the left. Well, you may have an injury on the right, and you need to move him over now to that other position. Well, because you're doing the same stuff all the time, that receiver knows what to do over there just because you've done it over and over again. He has seen it on tape over and over again. And so now that kind of gives you some flexibility to move guys. So I think that's kind of another part to it as well.
What type of success have you seen in the last 3 days that has sort of instilled that?
I've been proud just operationally, getting the call, getting lined up, people in the right spots. Those are always things you worry about kind of early on. We really started well that way on day one. And that was, I don't know if surprising is the right word, but I was pleased about that after seeing it from day one. So I just think operationally, that's the biggest thing, number one. And number two, we're running around. We've got guys that are hungry and laying it out there 3 days straight. That's tough, especially starting out with a new system and new installs and all that stuff. So I just think our speed, the way we get lined up, and then operationally speaking, that's been definitely a plus and a positive so far. Yeah, obviously our backs, those couple guys back there, and then a couple, kind of reserve guys that are going to be fighting for depth. There's been some nice flashes between a couple of them so far. Tight end room, you've got versatility there. You've got quite a bit of athleticism in that room right now, and so that's been good to see. That's been good to see in some of the passing game and the running game so far. So I think some of the versatility and the variety we have, at the tight end position and in the running back room has been a good sign so far.
Talk about some of the bodies in the tight end room, Jake Briningstool. Have you had a guy that profiled like him, or is he unique in terms of?
He is unique. I've been around some similar types to him, but he's very athletic. He's got a lot of range to him, and then he can really run. This is a guy that can really run, and so he's going to present some matchup problems in one-on-one situations. There's no question about it. Sage has done a nice job getting him back. I know he's been injured, but getting him back and seeing some of his physicality early on has been good. And then Sap's made a couple nice plays here in the first couple of days. He's athletic. He weighs more than you think. He's almost 240 or something. And so he's one of those bodies that you feel like you could probably do just about anything with. He's strong enough to hold up in the box, and he's certainly athletic enough to be displaced or flexed out.
How creative can you get with a guy like Shipley in terms of his ability to run, but also
Yeah, you can get pretty creative. Yeah, again, it's a physically and skill set wise, what can he handle? But probably more important is, mentally not overloading him, and that's certainly something we're not going to do early on in spring. But he's a guy that mentally can handle some things, and so he's a guy you can do a lot with and move around and kind of get him in some different matchups.
Sorry if this has already been asked, but I see a lot of new drills, and I see that you're very intentional about some of the things that you do. What does it mean to coach when he kind of allows you to bring some of the stuff you've used in the past and incorporate it into what you're doing? And how important is that to you to kind of teach you a way?
Yeah, that's paramount. That's in order to really do this thing and do what we know and be committed to it. You got to practice that way, and so that's been great so far. That he has the trust in us and me and the rest of our staff to kind of get that really implemented and get it rep the way we need it to get rep, so this thing can grow. So yeah, I just think that's commitment, right? That's commitment to what we're doing, what we're about.
Is that maybe one of the things that he talked to you about in the hiring process or after your hire, that a fresh look at things, maybe a fresh way to kind of approach it?
Yeah, that was certainly part of our conversation. It's kind of what he was looking for, and what could I bring to, or would that relationship work? Would we be able to jive that way and all those things? So yeah, those were some conversations we had in talks. Yep.
Anyone else for Coach?
just one small question. Carson Kramer, I guess the snapper that overlap with the Kansas
Mm-hmm.
you brought here. I guess why is it important to have a guy like that, I guess, to help out? And I think
Yeah, I mean, you hear air raid all the time, and so we got to give the old lineman and the running back some love at times on that. So when we're on the ball, it's just kind of a little inside joke, I guess, with some dirt raid. So no, he's been important. He was a good addition for us and for me of just kind of having some continuity there and just another person that's been familiar with what we're about, how we practice, how we game plan, how we break down, just all those sort of things that go into this of just having another voice that way to really just give me somebody to bounce some things off of that I know has been through it before and knows how we practice, knows what it's supposed to look like. So he's brought a lot of value already.